Hi everyone, welcome to a demonstration video on how to view equipment power density and lighting power density and how to change it for your homework 3 assignment. So I have my homework 2 file open here, and the first thing I'm going to do is view the equipment power density and the lighting power density. That is the starting point for my model. And as we covered in class, there are a couple ways to do this. I'm just going to do this with the method of deconstructing the program. So this program that we're assigning contains information about the lights and the equipment and the people, the hot water, infiltration, rates, and set points throughout the year for this program type. And the way that we can visualize that is if you go to Honeybee Energy and Loads, you can go to deconstruct program type. So this will let you view all of the programmatic assumptions for all these categories of the program listed here. So before I get any further, I'm going to bring in bifocals so you can see the name of all of the components, the full name. So to view the starting point for the lighting power density, you can deconstruct the lighting. So go to Honeybee Energy, go to Loads, and go to Deconstruct Lighting. And this watts per area, if you hover over it, it'll say a numerical value for the lighting power density in watts per meter squared. And that lighting power density is the max amount of lighting that would be used in your space. And then for every hour of the year, that max amount gets multiplied by the use fraction of the lighting for every hour of the year. And that determines the lighting energy use, and it also determines the heat gains into the space from the lighting. So we can visualize the lighting power density by bringing in a panel. I went to params panel and then can plug in my watts per area output there. So this is our lighting power density. We can view the schedule too by deconstructing the schedule, which we talked about in class, but I'm not going to go into that here. And yeah, so that is our lighting power density. So I'm going to rename this. I'm going to right click here and rename this to lighting power density in watts per meter squared. So that's our starting point. And then for the equipment, we can go to Honeybee Energy, Loads, Deconstruct Equipment. You can deconstruct any of these and kind of view the settings of them by using these other deconstruct components. But I'm going to deconstruct my equipment. And this watts per area, if you hover over that, it says a numerical value for the equipment power density in watts per meter squared. So if you go to params panel, drop a panel in here and view that information, you'll see the equipment power density. Equipment power density in watts per meter squared. Okay, so in the homework, you will determine a new lighting power density from the table, this table here. You will use this column to determine the lighting power density in watts per feet squared. And then you will convert that to watts per meter squared. So that will be your new lighting power density. Instead of this old one. So the original one that your models have been running with is this one, but then you're going to put in your new one. And then for the equipment power density, what I wrote in the homework assignment is we're just going to assume that it's half of this. So instead of 6.66999, it's going to be half of this. So it'll be whatever half of this is. And then you will put in your new equipment power density. I'm going to make some room. I'm going to move this stuff over. In your like workflow here where you're setting new parameters for your thermal zones. So they're your thermal zones, or AKA honeybee rooms, they're called the same thing. They're getting passed to these components, and their parameters are being updated as they pass through. So if you use this component, honeybee, and if you go to honeybee energy, go to loads and use apply load values, you can grab the honeybee rooms into here and export them out of here and bring this into your workflow. And then you can assign new lighting power densities, equipment power density, occupant density, all the densities of, I guess, the program, and other parameters of the program too, like the infiltration rate, the amount of ventilation in the space. You can set all these aspects of the program using this honeybee apply load values. So you could just use a param or a panel component to write in your new lighting power density here. Let's say, I'm just going to make it up, it's 1. You're determining this in your homework. And then you can put in a new electric equipment power density here. Let's say that's 2. I'm making these up. Use the actual numbers that you're getting in your homework assignment. And that will go into here, which is, if you hover over it, it says it's the electric equipment power density in watts per meter squared. And this one is the lighting power density in watts per meter squared. So this is what you're going to be using to update your lighting power density and equipment power density from what it was in the beginning, when you set this program. You set it with these assumptions, and then down here, you are updating those assumptions. So yeah, and then after you do this, you'll run the energy model and export the results. Let me know if you have any questions when you run into this. Oh, another question that came up is about, in the homework too, is about the strategies for reducing lighting power density and equipment power density. The strategies for lighting power density start with LD9, and pretty much go until LD15. So you can read that section for some tips on reducing lighting power density, some design strategies, and then for equipment power density, you have to go down to the plug load section here, and you can read this overview. I think it's helpful context. And then the equipment power density strategies start here with PL1. So strategies to reduce equipment power density, or they call it plug load. So PL1, and then all of these strategies here are related to residential until PL10. So hopefully that was helpful, and I will feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions about this.